Today, we're talking about lead generation. I promised you guys I was going to keep doing these, and honestly, it's a lot of work. A lot of people think it's really easy, but no, it's actually a lot of work. It takes a lot of time and dedication. So thanks for the 5 people that are watching these. We're going to be talking today is lead generation and how to turn people who are just interested in how to build trust with the people around you. So if you know me, you know I love using social media in a smart and meaningful way. So it's not just for the likes or the trends or, for me, it's more like a tool to grow your brand and connect with people who actually believe in you. But not only that, actually, so people can connect with you on a different way. We're talking about sales and real estate. Obviously, I'm a real estate agent, so that's why I'm going to be sharing you, especially if you're new, if you're thinking about, joining a team, doing real estate, or even if you're in sales, you can apply some of these things, not to the T, but you can tweak them a little bit to your own business, okay? So I'm not saying that you enjoy being on camera. Honestly, me, myself, this is not a natural thing for me. English is my second language. I have to practice a lot even before going to the cameras, putting myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm pushing myself even harder to try to reach to other people that I'm usually not gonna reach. There's no way for me to reach 500 people at the same time if we're not because of social media. And when I say social media, we're talking about different platforms, right? You have YouTube, you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have so many other platforms. I have cold call in the past. Some people, we have something on my team, it's called The Pond, where a lot of cold leads people that actually don't want to buy homes, that they're just wandering, window shopping and whatnot. So I can actually go through that and call people if I wanted to. I practice several scripts before even calling people. So that's one way of generating leads. And honestly, I don't like doing that. I do not enjoy doing that, but I do it sometimes because I treat these very seriously. I do real estate full time. For me, this is not just, hey, I need to call people. It's more like, hey, I'm going to try to do my best. And obviously, if I'm spending time and putting my effort to these, I'm hoping to obviously be successful at these. But I also know that there are other ways of lead generation, and that's what I want to talk to you today. There is a lot of influencers, right? Or people that do really well, and a lot of people care about the following and likes. For me, it's more than the likes and being an influencer or famous, because I don't care about that at all. It's more like, what's the value that I'm actually bringing to my clients? And this applies to my business in general, okay? Like my company values, right? What I want to project, how I want to handle my business. Is this aligned to my social media and my marketing and my online presence? Because a lot of people, I don't know how to word this exactly, but a lot of people be really good at handling their business and then they don't know what to do on social media. So you start dancing and making fun and doing all these things. Well, I do support those kind of comedies and things like that. But then at the end of the day, you actually want to be taken seriously. That's just a personal opinion, not that you have to do it. Yeah, sometimes obviously you can have fun things and, be fun. But overall, you have to ask yourself, if I were a client, will I actually hire myself? Obviously, it's not like you have to be all about business and not have fun or anything like that. But yeah, I want to be taken seriously. And if I want $1 million listing, gotta be really careful on what I put out there. You know what I mean? Not saying again that you need to be perfect, but it's about doing the reps, okay? So whether you like telling stories through Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever, or reels or chatting in online groups, then use that. Your posts are like your first handshake with someone. That's something that you have to think. If you go to your social media and then you see it and then you scroll it down, that's going to be the first impression that someone gets from you if they haven't actually see you in person before. Think about it as the first handshake with someone. As Tom Ferry says, success leaves clues. So do what feels right for you. There's so many ways of doing social media. There's not only one formula. There's different platforms, and I feel like you have to respect those. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram are so different one to the other. So if you're doing batch content, like me cutting, for instance, let's say that I'm doing this and then I put different shots or different reels or TikToks, I know each platform, it's going to have a different algorithm. It's going to have different age gaps and all of that. So So you don't really have to be everywhere online. I mean, I wish, right? But if you're starting up, don't get overwhelmed and say, hey, I need to create all these 10 different accounts. You choose 1 or 2 flat platforms of your like and stick with them. What matters most is showing up regularly. It's not about going viral. Just think about that. It's about being there, being present, even when no one is watching you. That's how you build confidence and trust, right? I was talking one of my first episodes from this podcast. I'm gonna move these because I don't want to get distracted. But I was talking to Steph and Jacob. We were talking about confidence, and a lot of people think being a real estate agent is really easy. But when you actually get to the first deal, the second deal, the third deal, then you realize that every deal, it's a little different. You're not only handling different personalities, different people, different properties, different backgrounds. So the only way to build that confidence and trust is doing those reps, okay? So yeah, if you don't feel confident about doing a TikTok, I'm not saying go and dance or go and lip sync. I'm saying try to do your best and keep doing that, because the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to get and the better you're going to get. If you see really cool people that know how to actually properly deliver on social media, let's say Alex Ramosi, for instance, he's everywhere. He didn't start like that. He actually started a podcast and then one business, then the other one and now you see the reps that he did in the past are the fruit of what he's getting today. So I want to shout out to 2 amazing women who are doing this really well in social media, but also as a real estate agent. The first one is Paige, and I'm going to show you Paige. She's very well known here in Utah. I'm going to show it to you guys. She has 105,000 followers, okay? Now, this is a lot. There's a lot of followers, but they do understand something about social media, that they do treat it as a business. If you go to mine, I only have 188 posts. So I'm like, I need to get better at these. It's not about competing with someone. It's about like, this person has a lot of more reps than I have on this specific platform. So no doubt that she's going to be doing really good, because I'm sure she tried a lot of things. I'm sure she tried to do it. She still sometimes once in a while do her own reels, but she also have more people that help her. But not everyone starts like that. That's what I'm trying to say. I bet even she started from little to nothing, right? So if you see some of her reels are like 17,000, some other ones are like 3,000, 82,000. You have from 3,000 all the way up to, I don't know, over 1 million views in one of them. Obviously, she does invest a lot of time on these, and I'm sure she gets a lot of leads because I've seen her content. I've also seen her professional content in some other places where she goes to podcasts and she actually talks about lead generation, very similar to what I'm talking here, is that she treats this very seriously. And she's a top real estate agent here in Utah. It's not like she feels unreachable. You know what I mean? She's really pretty and all of that, which is great, and that helps a lot. But I also know other people that you don't, as I say, you don't need to be perfect. Find your own way of doing the kind of content that is going to get your audience, okay? There is another one I want to show you. Her name is Tat Londano here. She's amazing. She has a lot more followers, 303K followers, and she is amazing. I think I've been following her before I even got into this studio and doing all of these. I have been following her for a while, since she probably had like 50,000 followers or something like that. And then she got all kind of content. If you do these, or like she does a lot of like advice for real estate agents, a lot of like podcasting, reactions to videos. She does some funny things as well. She gets really creative on things like, hey, I'm going to wear a hat, or I'm going to get dressed this way. And what I like about Tat Londono is that she looks good and she's always very professional. I know people will respect her for that. That's the other thing. Like, as a woman, I don't want everyone seeing all the parts of my body. You know what I mean? And I think she understands the assignment. She's like, how to shoot. Look.
Without having to spend thousands on a videographer. Step 1, get a tripod like this one and make sure it's adjustable. Bring it up as high as your chest. Step 2, take your phone and stick it on. And now it's time to make sure you're recording in 0.5 and that your back camera is facing you.
Anyway, so you'll find all kind of things that it's not like she's always talking about real estate. She talks about celebrities, reacts to videos. She talks about some things that experience about owning a business. So it's not like you always need to be selling. And I will encourage you to not always be selling on your social media, because people are going to be like, oh man, I don't even want to. So that's the other thing. So I just wanted to show you these two amazing women. And I mean, we have Ryan Serhan, we have Tom Ferry, if we're talking about guys, right? But honestly, the common denominator here is the same thing. So treat these as a business, and she's creative, right? And super fun. So you can tell she enjoys what she does, and people really connect with that. So what both of these women do best is to show up every day with a purpose. Even one of them says, it's just consistency. Even when I don't feel like it, I have to stick and do it. So now let's be clear. Social media isn't about showing off every house or copying what's trending. It's about making people feel seen and heard. So when you post something, it's going to show who you truly are and what you believe in, right? So people start reaching out because they trust you. My first deal ever was from social media, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background. And so we are, as a real estate agent, on high ticket sales, right? So that one lead, because I posted consistently on social media, got me $14,000. It wasn't the biggest sale of my life. It was my first listing ever. That got me one rep. And I'm like, okay, I got one. Now I got to keep going and get better and better. And if you go to my social media, I don't even have a big following. And that's what I wanted to say. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to be famous. Hey, if I have 5,000 followers, out of those 5,000, you're probably going to get 500, 800 views. Out of those 800 views, man, at least 1%, you never know who's watching you. You never know who actually needs your service. And when people can see that you're authentic and they can trust you, even just from taking a look at your social media and say, hey, I need you to help me sell a home. Even though she already knew other people, actually she did knew a lot of other realtors, but for some reason, she trusted me. And I was like, okay, let's go, So trust is a big deal in this business. It's what makes someone wants to work with you. No matter what kind of lead generation you're doing, they need to trust you. So whether you're sharing tips for buyers, updating on the market, or just a peek into your day, make sure people walk away thinking, I can trust this person. So that's what turns a viewer into a client. That's what turns just someone who is like window shopping, right? Into a lead, into a client. And when someone shows interest, what do? Don't forget to follow up. So make sure you have systems to keep track of these people. So whether it's a message on Instagram or someone from your open house or even a friend of a friend, every person counts. So let them know that you care. You don't want to be fake. So also on the other side, if you join a team like me, I'm on a team. I'm on one of the biggest teams in Utah, not only in Utah. It's one of the biggest real estate teams in the US. So you're not just relying on your own efforts. That's the other thing about being on a team. I have someone who also generates leads for me. I have that float of leads coming in and grow my own sphere of influence. So that doubles the opportunity to grow your business and practice your follow-up skills with real people who are really ready to buy or sell. So there are different levels of knowledge and skill when it comes to not just generating leads, but also converting them and not letting the ball drop. So I want you to ask yourself, do you have systems and processes in place? So what happened after I get one lead? How do I step on top of it? And do I have a preferred loan officer that I can trust and count while I still focus on keep generating leads, keep getting them under contract, keep showing homes, keep negotiating deals, making sure the deal closes, but also I have all these flow. You need to have a good team on your corner. And when I say a team, not just a real estate team, but you need to have your own team within your business, like a good loan officer, and all those other things that a lot of people don't talk about. So do I take the time to do a proper buyer's consultation? I do a lot of buyer's consultations, probably tons of them. The more buyer's consultations I get, the better. A buyer's consultation is something really easy. It doesn't have to be scary. Sometimes I met up with my clients, especially if I met them through Instagram and they're in the valley. My office is too far from them. I'll say, hey, let's meet up at this coffee shop or something like that. Buyer's consultation doesn't have to be scary. And it's just something that I do. It's just to get to know them, to understand their needs, what were they looking for, you know what I mean? And also so they can put a real face to who they're talking to. And the more I can get to know them, the more they can also trust me. So buyer's consultation, basically, I'll go through the whole process of buying a home, or if they want to sell a home, I'll do a listing presentation. I just did 2 listing presentations last week. One of them is from Instagram. The other one is from Zillow because my team gave me that lead. The other one wants to buy. And this past week, through a WhatsApp group, I got 4 other leads that I'm also pre-qualifying with a loan officer. So ask yourself, do I take enough time to do a proper buyer consultation? I'm just winging it. I'm just replying DM after DM and see what happens. You need to actually take care of your people. So the more structure your business has, the fewer fires you'll have to put out. And that means that you'll be less likely to burn out once you get to the top. Okay. So you can be like really, really good at producing. But if you don't have systems in places, it's going to be really easy for you to burn out. So real estate isn't about being famous or having 1,000 or 300,000 followers, right? Social media is always changing. These days, it's less about your followers count and more about who's watching your content and actually engaging. Lead generation can have different meanings. Obviously, I'm leaning towards social media, but that's not the only way of obviously generating leads. If you're starting or thinking about joining a team or flying solo as a real estate agent, I will say, yeah, your family, your friends, and all of that, that's great for your sphere of influence. You can ask for referrals and whatnot, but it's going to get to a point that you're going to run out of those leads. So you need to think about, do I want to buy leads from platforms or apps like Realtor.com or Zillow and things like that? Do I have the budget to even do that? If not, maybe I can go and take a look and join a team. But also, you have this opportunity, social media. I live here in Utah, and a lot of people in Utah, especially young guys, they do a lot of solar sales, and they're very aggressive on that. The culture is kind of like that because of the background that Utah has, right? They're really, really good on selling. This kind of sale is more like a direct sales, a little more aggressive, fast closing, right? Real estate is a little different, right? You have to wait for the right time and the right opportunity when your client is ready to buy. Like, it's a lot more than just try to sell something and try to wing it. So that's what I'm saying, that you have to be prepared for when the opportunity comes. So we have different kind of lead generation, right? You can do open houses and make sure if you do an open house that you do it properly. Make sure you advertise it properly. Make sure you put it on the MLS. Make sure that on your Zillow shows that you're doing an open house, that you have enough open house signs, that you have your sign up thing in there for you to follow up with clients. And then once you're done, make sure you follow up with them. Make sure you put them on your CRM. Make sure you follow up with them. Make sure you connect on the open house on a human level, not just as a salesperson. You want to be someone who knows what they're doing, someone who people can trust, and someone that if you call them back, they will answer the phone. You know what I mean? So that's another way of generating leads. Obviously, we talk about social media. Then the other way is cold calling, and you're like, okay, I have no one to call. Then talk to someone who can bring you those leads. And even before calling, practice objections. A lot of scripts. When I started cold calling, and not that I enjoy that, but I do it sometimes, I will practice before ton of times, and then I'll go and hit the phone. But nowadays days, I haven't cold called in forever. And I don't think I feel the need of doing it because I got a good system of generating leads. Plus, obviously, my team provides for them. So that's what I will say. It's not only about generating leads, but it's also like, can you sustain these? Can this be the long game for you? Because if it's not, you're going to be burning out. You're going to be, oh, this is not for me. But not because you were not made for these. It's just because you don't have a lead flow that consistent that can keep generating business and actually make this profitable for you to say, okay, this is actually working. I feel like a lot of people get a lot of frustration from these. A lot of agents will quit on their first year because they don't see anything coming in. But if you have a consistent flow of leads, it gets a lot better. So that's about it. If you want to become a real estate agent, let me know. I'll be happy to talk to you and walk you through the steps. Till next time.